And just like that, my voice is back. Welcome back to Odyssey's Thursday weekly occurrence, sometimes at 4 o'clock, most of the times at 7 or 8. Can you tell I haven't spoken in a while? Yeah, it's weird. Roadside Mayhem. Okay, it's not extreme mode. I like that. These 3 maps, they're not terrible. We'll see how this goes. The balloons might be the source of all evil, but they follow basic traffic law like anyone else. Okay, streets and roads, streets and roads. Oh god, the last map's gonna be hashtag ouch, isn't it? Oh, I hope it's not, but I get the feeling it will be. Okay, no. The worst map here seems to be cargo, but I'm genuinely happy with all the rest. Cool. Alright. What have we got? What have we got? Show me what we got. Show me what you got. Can you tell I really enjoy having my voice back? It's nice. I still can't hit high notes, which is awkward. So if I try and go to a high note, my voice just sort of gets cut off and cuts out. And then you can't even tell that I'm like trying to hit a high note anymore. It's just silence. Nothing comes out at that point. But yeah, other than that, voice is back to normal. I can speak, I can sing. Vaguely. I say vaguely. Barely. Let's go with that, barely. Yeah, I'll bring along a boomerang, why not? Alright, are we allowed to just fill up our tank on all of this goodness? I don't think I need 5 ninjas. Spread out a little. Okay, cool. What hero do I want? Open did get a pretty nice buff in the last update, allowing druids in his range to see camo balloons, which is very, very nice, if you ask me. Let's have a look at the maps first. That's my ideal team setup, but let's have a look at the maps because I'm an idiot and I forgot to check. Okay, end of the road, hard standard 6 to 55, balloon and Moab speed is increased by 20%. Middle of the road, hard reverse 6 to 60, same deal. Quiet street, hard standard 6 to 65, 120% speed as well. Cargo 6 to 70. And high finance, double HP Moabs. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be fine. This is gonna be fine. So what would I want? More damage and utility, or more money? I think with the amount of money that we're starting off with, I feel like money's not that bad of a thing to keep pursuing. Screw it. We'll pick Oben. Oben? Ben. Sorry, not Oben, just Ben. It's been weird not having a voice, honestly. If you've never lost your voice before, it's an interesting experience. It really is. I didn't expect it to happen to me, honestly, but lo and behold, shit happens, as they say. But yeah, honestly, it was a really great time losing my voice. Like, going to work, I didn't have to talk to a lot of morons. I could just sort of point at my throat and then like point an imaginary finger gun to my head as if to be like, yeah, my throat is shot type thing. And for the most part, people understood. And then basically I texted my boss letting him know. Because I was sick. I was down with the sickness. And so I texted my boss being like, hey, I'm not feeling the greatest. Put me on like a job that is as far away from everybody else as possible. Maybe loading somewhere. Right? And my boss, very nice guy, happily obliged that. It was just like, okay, well, hope you feel better soon. We'll put you over here for now. Keep me updated on how you're feeling throughout the day. And I was just like, that's very kind. Thank you very much. But goddamn, I didn't realize how many people want to fucking talk to me at work. Like, and I'm not talking like a quick question like Q&A, yes, no. I mean like a full-blown fucking conversation. Like the amount of people that attempted to talk to me and I had to be like, look, this ain't working. It was a struggle. Luckily, I only had to do that for like a day and a half, 2 days, max. Just because people either got the message and understood, or I was better before I needed to talk to them again. Which is great. But yeah, I'm still not 100%. Like I said, can't hit high notes. So my singing career is still currently on pause, for those that are interested to know. But yeah, for the most part, I can speak, I can converse. You might be able to tell by my voice that there's like a little bit of sickness just holding on, but I've whooped its ass for the most part. And thank you to those that were leaving very kind comments, wishing me well and hoping that I get better soon. I appreciate you all very much. But yeah, that's that development, and then I've mainly just been fucking working, really. There's not much else to tell. What was it? The boss rush event. The boss rush event came out. I completely forgot about it and didn't play it at all. So now I've got to wait for the next one to come out for me to try it out. But I logged on and jumped on today for doing this Odyssey, and it was just like, congratulations, your team beat 0 bosses. And I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing, huh? That was funny. But yeah, I do want to try that out at some point, because if it's just normal bosses and it's not any elite bullshit, that could be pretty fun. We'll see though, we'll see. Going for a classic strategy here. It's been a while since I've done a Ninja Alch start. But damn, does it cover the bases. Okay. That's all good. Let's get a sniper back here. Now this is a classic loadout for me. Back to basics. Ninja Alch, chuck in a druid. Throw up a bottom path sniper. Can't get much more classic than that. Ooh. And fun fact, just now that I've gotten over my weak little sickness, come back to work today, find out that one person's out sick because they've got COVID, and another person was still at work, but they had COVID. And I was like, what the fuck? Why are you in here if you're sick with COVID? Kindly fuck off. Luckily, they did. Fucked off back home after their replacement showed up. And to be fair, they were doing their best to avoid everyone as much as they could. You know. Keeping, like, not only, you know, 1.5 meters or whatever it was between people, social distancing wise, but like double that. Just to be safe. Which I appreciate, but at the same time, don't fucking show up to work if you've got COVID. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Like, don't get me wrong, if it's a regular sickness, I think it's fine to show up to work, provided that you're actually being cautious to avoid people as much as you can, not cough or sneeze or do anything horrible in their general direction. And you know, try and minimize the spread as much as you fucking can, right? COVID, on the other hand, that's a motherfucker, right? That shit has varied results, you know? For the most part, you get the flu. Obviously, it'll depend from year to year, but for the most part, you get the flu, you feel like shit, you're gonna sneeze, and you're gonna have a runny nose, and you're gonna cough a lot, and then you're gonna feel like shit for a few days. You're probably gonna wake up with a lot of headaches. But then after that, your body's all good. It's figured that shit out. It's sorted it. You're back to normal. COVID, some people get over it in a week. Some people don't even realize that they've got it. Other people have it for fucking months on end because they've got underlying problems as well. Shit's much harder to predict, and it can fucking kill people. Don't get me wrong, the flu can kill people, but you don't hear nearly as much about that as you do with COVID and the various strains and whatnot. So, as far as I'm concerned, you get COVID, you fuck off. Or you don't even show up in the first place. That makes sense to me. If you know for a fact it's the flu, you know, tested multiple times, all of it's come out negative and all that, all well and good, stay the fuck away from people, you know, don't be that guy. But, I think it's fine if you show up at work, you know? Man, I'm just waiting for the day that, like, a massive chunk of the workforce gets sick, all at once. To the point where it's like, well, it's only me and, like, 3 other people in today. Like, on the one hand, that sounds fucking horrible in terms of the amount of work that we'd have to do, all of us. But on the other hand, it's like, what if it was just like a day where only you and your mates showed up to school? Or, you know, you and your mates are the only ones that showed up to work. You just dick around a lot more all day. Be pretty funny. Is it weird that I've had a sort of fantasy about that? Not like a creepy, weird sexual fantasy or anything, but I've always fantasized about that when I was in high school. Me just rocking up and being like the only one in my class the whole day. And just being like, well, are you gonna actually teach me? Or are you just gonna be like, fuck it, get shoved into this other class instead, we don't want to deal with you. You know? Ben's gonna get run over. I only just realized that's a train track. And absolutely just put him straight in the middle. It's where he belongs. I'm sure he'll live. I think I want double shot first before I buy an elk here. Realistically, I don't need an elk until like late 20s, but I suppose if I can afford it, I can afford it. We're not going to a super high round. I'll just put him there. I was gonna put him like in the middle of that little T for when I get a tier 5, but I don't think I'll get the tier 5 for it before the end of this game. Something cheaper, yeah, I could probably achieve that, but not the tier 5. And boom. Money. Pop. Okay, let's get this guy up and running. Don't want him to buff the druid. I think I want to have a boomerang in this area. Don't know why, it just appeals. Oh, I don't even know if I brought this up. But, last week when my voice was shot to shit, right? Me and the missus were still obviously hanging out and wanting to communicate. However, I obviously fucking couldn't without being in pain. And so our solution was that we've started to learn sign language. And by sign language, I mean Auslan sign language. Very handy, actually. You can get a nice app for it on the App Store or the Google Play Store, whatever you use. I think it's called Auslan Dictionary. Essentially, you think of a word that you would like to know how to tell people in sign language, I guess. You type it in, and it'll come up with how you would say the word in signs, and on top of that, which regions of Australia, because Auslan, obviously Australian, which regions of Australia use that sign. And if there's multiple, then it'll show you all of the signs across all of the regions and which regions use it. It's very handy. So me and the missus were just looking up, you know, different signs for us to be able to communicate to each other on a fairly basic level. And that worked out really well, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, we're not exactly fluent, full conversationalists, but we learnt enough to be able to, you know, communicate fairly effectively. And of course, don't worry, learned a bunch of swear words as well. Only the best. Actually, that's what I was gonna do tonight. I wanted to look up a bunch of compliments. And how to compliment people a bit more in sign language, because if I'm using my newfound skills at work like I did today, people just immediately assume, and to be fair, they are right, that I'm talking shit. However, if I learn some compliments and start teaching people some compliments at work, then they'll have no fucking idea what I'm doing, you know? They'll have no idea. But yeah, learning sign languages has been pretty fun. Been teaching a bunch of my mates at work, just occasional words here and there. But yeah, would highly recommend it if you are looking to learn a language. Why not go for a sign one? You know, maybe there's a different version of sign language in your own community. I know for a fact that Auslan does not have a sign for every single word. You know, like there's so many different words for the same thing in English, and so you sort of just use a generic sign that covers either one part of it or, you know, a section related to it, and that kind of covers you. But if you're going into like really specifics, that's when you sort of learn how to finger spell or finger sign, where essentially you can just spell out the letters that you're trying to say. So you can get your generalized point across, and then when it comes to the specific word that you're trying to say or that there isn't a sign for, you can just sort of spell it out on your fingers instead. Also, very valuable to have a way of communicating that isn't audible. You know? It makes it easier to communicate over long distances without having to yell. It's quite handy, especially for me. I'm still not at the point where I'm comfortable yelling yet at work. I'm still kind of just being like, well, I'll take it easy, you know, see how I go, rather than try and push things and then end up breaking my voice even more. But at the moment, I can talk like this without any issues. Voice box is fine. If I try and hit high notes, like I said, I can't. I just sort of fade into silence as I attempt to screech from a height that my vocal cords can't reach at the moment. But yeah, I'm just trying not to take any risks unnecessarily, so that I can be at peak performance again. Alright, and there we go. Not too shabby. End of the road and middle of the road complete. These last 3 maps, as always, will be featured in the second part of the Odyssey, which I will be releasing tomorrow. This has been Roadside Mayhem Part 1. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you again for all the love and support. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.